All right. Welcome, everybody. Just going to take a quick peek here and see what's going on. Okay. I think we got some things figured out. Um, yeah. Wow. Okay. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome, Instagram. Welcome, The Sanctuary. Right? We are live in a few different places. So I'm just looking at multiple cameras right now, trying to figure this out. Welcome in. Welcome into this conversation. We are live in a couple of places, and tonight we're going to talk about autopilot, dysregulation, and this common thing that most women come to me talking about where they're like, I feel like I'm lazy and I can't get things done. No matter what I do, I procrastinate so much. And in this call, we're going to talk about it because it's actually not laziness, but it's dysregulation. So we are, we're live, YouTube, Instagram, and Inside the Sanctuary. Hello, welcome in. And we are going to have this conversation. And for my Lotus ladies, we are going to chat about this live on our socials first. And then after that, we're going to dive into the sanctuary for some deeper practice and some deeper healing. And so this is our first time on YouTube Live, and we're figuring this out, but we got this. And from there, we're going to shut down the socials and go in with the ladies to our deeper things, do our deeper work. Okay? So, welcome. If you have been telling yourself that you're lazy, you're unmotivated, you should be able to handle more. Why can't you get this done, right? Maybe you're looking at a pile of laundry that just can never get folded. Maybe you're looking at a pile of dishes in the sink that can just never be washed. Maybe you are sitting on some projects, sitting on some ideas that you just feel like you cannot initiate, right? No matter how much you think about it, no matter how much you work out the side details, you just can't take the action on the thing, right? I want you to know that you are not lazy, right? You are not a lazy person. There's been a lot of things that you've accomplished in your life, a lot of things you've come through in your life, but you are likely dysregulated, okay? So, quick introduction if you don't know who I am. My name is Fantanish. Most people call me Fanta. I'm a trauma-informed holistic wellness practitioner. So I'm a registered massage therapist, I'm a doula, I'm a Reiki practitioner, and a Kemetic yoga teacher. And what I do is I blend this ancient wisdom, all this ancestral knowledge and teaching that I have, and I apply it to modern wellness. What are the women these days going through? What are we struggling with? Where's the disconnection? And how do we apply the both? Okay. I help high-performing women who are over-responsible, overachieving, and look fine on the outside, but feel disconnected. They feel overwhelmed and stuck on autopilot. I help those types of women re-regulate their nervous system, trust and reconnect with their body, and release what it's been carrying so that you can live a life of joy and pleasure. Okay. This work is personal for me because I was that person. I was the single mom who was dysregulated, over functioning, over performing, completely disconnected from myself. And it took me a long time to get to this point. I was caring a lot for a lot of people. However, I learned how to re-regulate. I learned how to really reconnect and reawaken my divine feminine energy, particularly the principles around Het Haru and the sacral chakra. What does this mean? What does beauty, pleasure, joy, creativity mean as a woman? It's not just nice to haves, it's actually essential to our power. And so when I tap back into this is really the key to help me unlock re-regulation and abundance in my own life, right? I was tired of being that stressed out, yelling mom, just couldn't get things done in the house, just feeling like I was just on autopilot all the time. And now I live this life of joy and pleasure and calm. And that's what I help other women get to as well. So tonight, we're talking about that process of getting out of this autopilot, getting out of this dysregulation, what I call from getting out of the passenger seat to the pilot seat of your own life. Okay. And I'm going to talk about what that looks like for high achieving women, why that forms. And we're going to talk about one small micro shift that you can actually do today to help you come back to yourself. Okay. And as always, in my videos, you're welcome to take what you like, leave what you don't like. Okay. If something does not resonate with you, leave it where it's at. This is just my way of doing things, right? This is the thing that has worked for me. It's worked for, over 1,000 women that I've worked with, right? I've helped them heal their bodies, regulate their nervous systems, and reconnect with their divine feminine energy. And this has worked for them, right? This particular principle of this ancient wisdom, this divine feminine. And we work with this trifecta. So we work with the divine feminine energy reconnection, right? Really working on that spirituality, that divine feminine embodiment, right? We work through somatic healing. So what does that mean? Healing the body. Where are you still holding on to pain? Where are you still holding on to trauma? And where are you still holding on to pressure and performance? And we learn to let that go, right? We learn to let go of that stress and that tension and those emotions, right? The past, the grief, the heartbreak, all of that. Where is it showing up? How to release that? And then the third thing we work on is nervous system regulation, right? What are we telling ourselves? Where do we feel unsafe? Where do we feel like we can't expand? And how do we create the conditions of safety so that we can move into that state of abundance and overflow? Okay. So if you can relate to these 5 signs that I'm about to share, you're not lazy. You're just dysregulated. Okay. But the good news is dysregulation is not a life sentence, right? It's a nervous system condition. And the things that we know about the nervous system is that, number one, it's created to keep you safe. And number two, what is safety? Safety is what's familiar. But number three, you can retrain your nervous system. Okay. You can create new neural pathways. We do this all the time in recovery and healing. If someone comes to me with a sport injury or a car accident injury, right, or different types of trauma to the body, and their body is, certain parts are desensitized, or the nerve pathways have been compromised in some sort of way, we can actually retrain those neural pathways to reconnect and to actually heal and go back to normal functioning, right? And those are those motor skills, right? We can do the same with our thoughts, right? We're used to thinking and believing a certain thing. Maybe that's due to conditioning, maybe that's due to culture, how you were raised, but you can learn a new thing through repetition, through micro exposures, right? Through creating safety in the new thing. So we're going to talk about what that looks like. Okay. So let's talk about what it's like to be in the passenger seat. Have you ever felt like you were in the passenger seat of your own life? That life is happening to you, but you have no idea if you're coming or going, like you're just there, but you're not really in your life, right? Maybe you're productive, but you're not present. You're functioning, but you're not really feeling. You're handling things. You're taking more on your plate. You're juggling all these things, but your body is paying the price, right? High achieving women learn to survive this way, right? Maybe, you were the first in your family to do a certain thing. Maybe you're the first daughter, or you became a caretaker really young. Maybe you're caretaking for your family, for your children, whatever the case is, right? You've pushed yourself through school, you've pushed yourself into business, you've succeeded, you have all these accolades, but these patterns, great achievements, right? You've You've accomplished a lot, right? And we don't want to take that from you. However, there are certain survival skills that are learned at a young age that cause us to disconnect from ourselves. And this is things like being the capable one, right? You just know how to do everything. You know how to fix things, you know how to solve things, you know how to take care of people, right? You're responsible, you're helpful, right? You're emotionally contained. So you're not one who's like going off into left field, right? You're not like you're not having emotional outbursts. You are someone that people can trust and feel safe around because you know how to contain yourself, right? You're not unpredictable. So your body gets really good at pushing through, okay? But over time, pushing through becomes a pattern, right? Your nervous system learns to overprotect instead of being present. And you learn to put other people's needs above your own. You learn to actually dissociate from what your needs and wants and desires are and put everybody else above yourself. Okay. So I talked about this earlier, the 5 signs of autopilot. I want you to make a mental note. This is not a character flaw. This is just your nervous system keeping you safe. I want you to make a mental note and let me know what resonates with you, okay? Number 1, numbness and disconnection. Okay, so you're going through the motions and you just wake up, you're doing the same thing every day, but you're not really feeling anything, right? Or maybe you create opportunities in your day for joy and pleasure. So maybe you take yourself out to a nice meal, or you take yourself out shopping, or you take yourself out for a walk, but still it's not giving you any joy. You still feel numb. Okay, that's number 1, numbness and disconnection. Number 2, you're over functioning. You are doing everything yourself. Any single moms, right? You're carrying everybody around you. Maybe you're carrying your family as well, like your extended family, like your parents, your siblings, right? There's no other help in the house for you. So you're doing the laundry, you're doing the cooking, you're doing the cleaning, and you're also doing the breadwinning, right? You're doing all these things by yourself, so you're over functioning. That's number 2. Number 3, you're overthinking, so your mind is always on. So maybe you have difficulty sleeping. Maybe you replay conversations in your head, replay situations in your head. You're just having a really difficult time settling down. Okay, like it's hard to sleep. It's hard to get into that rest mode. Even when you rest, you feel guilty. Okay. Number 4 is resentment. Right, you're giving, 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 and you're not getting anything back. You struggle with setting boundaries, and so you begin to get resentful. Maybe it's even against your own kids or your partner or your parents or people that you're caregiving for, right? And last thing is body tension. So maybe your shoulders are tight, your jaw's clenching, your shoulders are up, your chest is heavy, your stomach feels really tight and fatigued. Your body is actually saying what your mouth has been trying to say for so long, right? But you just choked up, right? Maybe you actually feel it physically in your neck. Maybe you feel like you get sore throats, or you feel like this lump in your throat a lot of times. These are all signs of autopilot. And if you're seeing yourself there, I just want you to know this is not a failure. There is no shame in this. This is just about awareness, and your body is communicating with you. Okay. Why do we get into autopilot? Right? What happens when our nervous system feels like things are too much, or that slowing down is dangerous, that if you stop, everything will fall apart? Why does this happen? Right? It happens because it needs a sense of control, right? It needs a sense of speed, it needs a sense of performance, because this has all been safe for you in the past. This is how you got out of intense situations. This was literally your survival. You had to suppress. You had to keep moving despite how you feel, right? You had to continue to take care of other people because this was safe, right? Your literal safety depended on it, right? And you can thank that part of your nervous system for, allowing you to survive, taking you through those unstable periods, but you can also want to choose something different. Okay. So we're going to talk about a micro shift, right? Most women try to change their life from intellectualizing things, right? We just get into our minds. We're like more discipline, more strategy, more self help books, right? I need to learn, I need to absorb, I need to consume, right? We're still stuck in that head energy, but our nervous system does not need more intellectualizing or more learning. It needs safety. Okay, it doesn't need shame. It doesn't need, another class, another self-help book. It just needs safety. Okay, so we need to create safety before things can change. And how can we create safety in chaotic environments? First thing is through self regulation. So when you start feeling shame, when you start feeling overwhelmed, when you start feeling dysregulated, I want you to pause, calm, okay? We're going to get into our divine feminine principles now, because outside of this, we are just in our heads. We're over functioning, we're strategizing, we're overperforming. That's not what is going to heal us as women. We need to slow down, okay? Number one. Number two, take a deep breath in through your nose, out through the mouth. And again, this is not about performance. This is not about, yeah, everybody tells me to take a deep breath and it doesn't actually help. There is a physiological change that happens when you focus on your breathing. Because when you're on autopilot, your breathing is shallow. You're not getting the proper nutrients to your body. And this is actually what's causing the tension, the tightness, the heavy chest, the headaches, right? You're not getting the proper oxygen flow because you're constantly in survival mode, constantly in autopilot, and your body's just not functioning in an optimal state. So when we actually slow down our breathing, we can actually regulate our other body processes so that all of our attention and energy is not stuck on fight or flight. We can actually calm down and actually focus on the moment and bring ourselves the presence that we need. Okay. And the next thing I want you to do is to tell yourself that I am safe. Right now, in this moment, I am safe enough to be here. Okay. I am safe enough to be here. Whether that's taking 5 minutes to rest on the couch, whether that's, taking a couple minutes to work on maybe not the whole laundry bin, but maybe you just pull out a couple big things, the big items, hang those up, 5 minutes. Okay. Maybe you don't finish up all the dishes, but maybe 5 minutes you can work on the big pots. Okay. Or work on unloading the dishwasher. Okay. Maybe it's reading 5 minutes of a new self-development thing that you're working on, right? Like an idea, maybe 5 minutes on a project, 5 minutes on a creativity thing that you're working on, right? Or learning a new skill, right? Instead of doing the whole thing at once, just micro exposures, just 5 minutes, 5 minutes, but really taking that deep breath at the beginning and reminding yourself that you are safe. You are safe. This thing feels new. This thing feels expansive. This thing feels like it's too much, right? But the more that you can expose yourself to it in small increments, the more your nervous system is going to learn that it is safe for you to do these things, right? And I'm talking about, you know, just like small things here and there. But if you are to a point where you are like me and you are a single mom, or maybe you don't have kids, but your demands are too much, if you have the resources and capability to outsource, definitely outsource. Outsource where you can, whether it's paid outsourcing, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, get some folks in there to help you do the things that you need to do. Maybe you can get someone in once, even a month, to clean or to cook for you. Or you can get a bit of childcare for a couple of hours so you can um, work on something that you're passionate about. Okay. And again, just getting yourself through that initial hump and the repetition. Repetition is the one of the biggest ways that our nervous system will learn to feel safe again, right? It's those micro exposures over and over and over again. Okay. So I want you to try this out. Let me know how it goes. And I want you to let me know if this landed for you. And if it did, and you're ready to stop doing healing alone in the dark, I have an invitation for you. I want you to join my community, Sacred Lotus Sanctuary, right? It's our online community of women that are healing, moving out of survival mode, moving out of autopilot into a life of joy and pleasure. So join our community. Start with 7 days free, right? You don't even have to commit to anything, but browse around. We have a regulation library. We have guides to help you through things. We have our weekly master classes and coaching calls where you can ask me specific questions and I will help you come up with a plan that works just for you. Okay, something that's personal and individualized to your circumstances and your lifestyle and your needs so that you don't have to feel like one size fits all, right? You can ask me the questions. And like I said, I've helped over 1,000 women, right, move out of this place of body pain, of dysregulation and survival mode into a life of joy and pleasure, which I've done for myself as well. So if you're curious about somatic healing, about nervous system regulating, about connecting with your soft power as a woman, your divine feminine energy, come into the sanctuary. Okay. Comments off, and I'll send you the link. And I will see you soon. Thank you. See you later, ladies. Ciao.